everybody. How are you? It's Jaya Victoria, the Energy Queen. I'm actually out in the city in Soho right now, and I was trying to find a place to film a video, and well, I found a bench, so this'll do. And I wanted to talk to you about bullying, because bullying is something that I think when we go through it, we feel really alone. And I don't want you to feel alone, and I want you to know that there are actually like energy tricks that you can use to combat bullying. And I'm going to explain to you how I deal with it. It can happen to anybody, and here's the philosophy that I use to explain why bullying happens. Basically, we're all connected as spirits. We're all part of a bigger spirit. And so the way that we, like when we observe something in somebody else that we don't like, it's different than a judgment. Judgment is full of emotion and it's triggering. And basically, like when somebody has a negative judgment, which is what bullying is toward you, since we're all connected, what they're really seeing is something in them that they don't like, that they don't want to face. And basically, it could be something negative in you, and it also could be something positive in you. Your light can also be something that makes them feel deficient. And then if they also see anything, and basically the whole point is there's something in them that they're struggling with, and they're not willing to look at that or deal with that. So they're taking all their anger out on something outside of them or somebody outside of them, and that just happens to be you. And the other thing that's really, really important for you to know about bullying is that it's never personal. It feels so personal, and they try to make it seem very personal, but that's a trick. It's an illusion. They will do it to anybody. They definitely have done it to someone else at some point. And if you get more information about this person, people will tell you, oh yeah, like they've done this before, or they did that to that person. Or so it's not even about you. And there are a couple of things that you can do depending on who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a mean girl and you're a girl, like if you identify as a woman, you're dealing with a woman, then it's really important to do a few key things. One, why women especially mean girl each other is because, again, there's a deep insecurity, but also women sometimes do this thing where they check if you have confidence, because women really only feel safe around other women with confidence, because again, we're all connected. So if you don't feel good about yourself, how are you possibly going to be good to me? And women are just specific in that way because we really want to protect ourselves. So with the other women, sometimes, I'm not saying it's like right or good, but sometimes women just check if they can be mean to you and how you react to that. Because the truth is, if you really love yourself, then you will not allow it. And that shows them that you're actually a safe person to be around. So it's a weird way of checking if you're safe for them to be around. So that's why having boundaries when somebody crosses your boundary is really good. Women will check this, and even people sometimes will check this in tiny ways. So the bullying is never going to be outright in your face the first time. It's always going to be a tiny thing that you're like, did they just say that? No, they couldn't have meant that. I can't believe they're saying this to me. It feels like that. It'll be tiny things. And I made this mistake recently. You got to really catch this. You got to catch those things, and you have to correct it with that person. And when you're setting boundaries with someone, you always have to talk about yourself. You don't talk about them, because that blames them. That creates an argument. You say what's true for you, what you believe about yourself, and like use I and me language, and that's how you fix that. You have to catch the small things, or else you will probably have a big thing to deal with at some point. And again, what they're checking for, especially if it's a mean girl or woman, is, do you respect yourself? If I try to undermine your self-confidence, will you let me? And if you will let me, that means you you don't have self-confidence, and if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love me? I'm not safe around you. And then they'll like get really mad at you. So it is really important that you do all of that. The other thing is, if you're in a space where they're definitely bullying you, they're like outright bullying you, they're like definitely like blaming you and projecting stuff onto you, and it's like at that point, you have to combat that with feminine energy. And what I recommend is you have to dress very feminine when you're around them. And it sounds superficial, but feminine energy actually bats away negativity. So the more you do your hair, your makeup, you actually like wear a dress, or you like wear heels, like those things actually can really protect you, because that speaks again to the person. It communicates, I love myself. And it's weird how when you really work on loving yourself, there's like no room for anything else. There's like no space for it. And it can really help to protect you. It's like there won't even be room for them to treat you badly, because you're just loving yourself so much, and you have boundaries, and you communicate that you love yourself with the way you look. That can be really essential. And you got to do that at a critical moment, you know, if there's a critical moment where it's getting really bad. I'm going to start walking because I have to go. But the other thing I want to tell you is that bullying is also about beliefs and what the bully will do. And this can be for whether you're a man, woman, anybody. What they're trying to do is they're trying to convince you of negative beliefs about yourself. And you can combat those negative beliefs with your own beliefs. Like I said, you can say, I don't believe that about myself. Here's what I do believe about myself. Talk about yourself, remember? And also, you can demonstrate your beliefs with your behavior. Sometimes actions are louder than words. So in my situation, for example, it was at my job, and somebody was saying I didn't work hard enough. And I knew that wasn't true. But it's like I combated that by the next time I worked with her, I worked really hard. So it's like in her face that like I work really hard. So how can you have that belief that I don't work hard when I'm literally working really hard, and you can see me working hard? And so it starts to kind of release those judgments from them too. It definitely gets them out of you. And you have to really see the whole thing that way. It's about beliefs. It's about them telling you negative beliefs about you. And negative beliefs are never true. So you have to find ways to get what is that specific belief that the bully is trying to get me to believe, and to dismantle that in your own perception, in your own belief system. And you can do that through thinking and logic. Another thing I did was I talked to my family about it. You can talk to people who love you, who have actual perspective on you. It even drove me a little bit to be like, am I a bad person? And my dad was like, no, you're not a bad person. You know, you have to get affirmation about the truth from people who aren't trying to hurt you and who are going to give you a more accurate viewpoint of who you are. And nobody's perfect, you know, but bullying is a specific thing that can be really distressing, and it basically takes negative things, it magnifies them, it uses a lot of lies and trickery, and these are some ways that you can combat that. So I hope that helps you. If you like this, please let me know in the comments and share with somebody. And if you'd like to book energy clearing sessions with me and get coaching from me, you can book a free consult in the description. Stay strong. Bye.